Today is 19th of June, market trade reversal bar on average volume down 26.83894. Since 13th of May, when the market tested the resistance at 3950, market has been stuck in a trend range. Basically lacklusters, waiting for a catalyst to trigger move. In the absence of any catalyst, there's a general bias towards the downsides because of the Middle East tensions. Immediate support is actually at 3850. The more significant support is at 3800. So these are the levels to watch. This is the weekly charts of Nasdaq. Over the last two sessions, we see a drop in the range. It's an indication of pause. And this is not unexpected because it's approaching this congestion area. And the fact that we have Middle East tensions, if there's any escalation in the tensions, we like to see a correction from here. This is the weekly chart of S&P 500, quite similar pattern, but in fact it is much clearer. Over the last two sessions itself, we can see that actually markets are actually trading small body. So this is indications of lack of commitment on the part of the buyer, and it's an indication of rest. And this is again not unexpected because of this congestion area. There will be a general bias to downside. Very much depends on what happens Middle East. If US get involved, we can see further correction from here. The Federal Reserve has decided to maintain the interest rate, and so therefore does not actually provide any catalyst for any upward move. Even though it mentions that there will be still likely a cuts toward the end of the year. This is Brent crude. After the break of the support at $70, it was actually trending sideways. Again, we noticed that actually this sell down was triggered by the sweeping tariff announced by the US, and we can see most of the equity market actually recovering. But the Brent crude was actually stuck in a trend range, and the catalyst actually came when Israel actually conducted a preemptive strike against Iran, and that caused the price to actually surge. And likewise, it actually has benefited some of the oil-related stocks in our local boss. This is 10-year Treasury yield. It's actually muted the fact that Federal Reserve had decided to maintain the interest rate. So basically, it's just lackluster. Turn our attention to our local markets. Now we'll be discussing Centurion for quite some time. This stock has been trading since last year. Over the last two sessions, we see two inside bar. This is a contraction setup. Bar high here is at 157. Band United. Today we see a long-dated doji on increased volume. There's sign of uncertainty, likely to pull back. During the pullback, we can look for setup. Eventually take out this high here of 80 cents. Hong Leong Asia. Now, Hong Leong Asia have a very nice break after a pullback below the resistance. Follow through with a wide range bar, which is good. And today we see an inside day. And these inside days are fairly large, but the consolidation is actually low volume. So it does indicate some nervous selling. We like to look for setup and look for eventual break above the high of 138. LHN. After the break 3 days ago, we are now experiencing pullback. Notice today pullback bar has lower volume. This is a small deeper setup. Bar high here is 615. Food Empire has succumbed to some selling. Notice today you actually trade below the 1326 SMA. The weakness actually came here with this bearish gap, and there was a slight throwback before it actually moved downwards. And notice the bar are accompanied with high volume, so this is negative. Now I'd like to see what happens if we trade below the 1326. Look for throwback, look for setup to short the stocks. This is Takra. After a strong run up, which is not sustaining as it's consolidating, I'd like to look for a decisive break subsequently above high of 164. Now this actually move up was generally fueled by the news about a listing. Bostic. Very nice move here and experiencing pullback right now. This is a big dipper setup to mark out back high here is 139. CSC Global. Today I trade a long dated doji, is likely to actually pull back during the pullback, look for setup and eventually like to see take out this high here of 535. Banks basically generally lackluster. We probably have to leave them alone. This is DBS trading now below 1326 SMA. The only consolation is the bar are actually small, so it does indicate lack of commitment on the part of the bull and the bear as well. The fact that it's trade below 1326, the bear is off to actually go long. You see that also in UOB and OCBC. Notice small bar but below 1326 SMA. OCBC similarly trade small bar. The better bet actually among the blue chip is actually Singtel and Semcor and the like. This is Singtel. You may well map out a couple of header patterns. The header itself has lower volume. This is very nice. Look for decisive break above the high here of 401. ST Engineering. Nice consolidations. We like to look for decisive break above the recent high here of 802. Semcor Industry. We have very nice break, but unfortunately today we have market jittery and we see a wide range reversal bar. This is currently a small deeper setup bar. High here is at 711. Capo. Very nice breakout followed by pullback. At this point in time, a small deeper setup bar. High here is at 750. Among the property stocks, Hong Kong Land appears to be the better bet, but the sector itself is generally not that strong. Again, because of market jitteries, we see a reversal bar here. This is currently a small deeper setup bar. High here is at 575.